Hello and welcome. It is the 21st day of September 2019. My name is Derek and this is the Money Charts channel. Like always, all bets, trades, and of the like within each his own risk and their own reward. And first video of the day, 7 p.m. Eastern Time or 1900 hours. And nothing's been going on. I mean, I'm not even going to show the Bitcoin chart. Yeah, it's at the lower end of the range, barely under 10,000. But it hasn't broken any support. Bitcoin Cash still trying to figure out its next move, although it's looking like it's more favored to go down. But that's just it, more favored. It's still tough to call. Tron, however, I mean, whatever. It's just a setup. It's an attempt to break out of this after all band flattening out, establish resistance. It kind of didn't come back to the band, but regardless of the fact, seeing this, if it's able to get above here, I mean, decent chance maybe that it can do one of two things. Either one, have a decent leg higher, or two, the bigger one, in that of reverting what has been a tremendously large downtrend from these highs at the start of the year. So let's go back to how this market looked at that time frame. And we were obviously going up at this point, but there's the band flattening out for reversal of trend. Stage one, come back to support. And just grinding its way down, just having the decent loss. And well, obviously by this time you can say total bear market now. Okay. So now let's see the attempt. Okay, here's a statement that it wants to revert the trend. It's established resistance. It's came back to the band, and we can see that it actually tried to execute it. So the acknowledgement took place for reversal of trend here. Then we had that failed breakout there. And you can see just as it played out here, giving it all back, going to the lower end of the range with this volatility, and how this session, that looking back at April the 3rd, well, not a surprise to go lower. Had another attempt in here, but most certainly we can see giving it back on this day, spending much time weakening within the 18 lows. So big leg lower. So what's the next attempt? Okay, here we are. Another acknowledgement, another statement made on May the 27th of reverting the trend. Getting above the 18 average of highs here was just an attempt to have the band flatten out. And it really couldn't even succeed in doing that because it had this rate of decline. So it really took these 2 days to even do that, and at the same time establish a level of resistance. And when you're doing stage two, you're always making the statement of reverting the trend. And there we have it. There we have it. This was a spot where it broke established resistance with all of the stages coming into place. Now remember, oftentimes for failed moves comes fast moves in the opposite direction, but there's your breakout that occurred on the market in there. And there we see how it goes to the 18 lows, which is fine. To higher low will come back, support levels of previous resistance. But what you have to do after that in the parlay is get above the 18 highs. It didn't even get to it. And then when it left the 18 lows, that's when you're now realizing, oh boy, this is now a failed breakout. And you're seeing all of this action in here. Again, there's no surprise that we follow what we did there after the fact. And now we're just doing yet another attempt in reverting this trend. Now I consider Tron to be that of funny money. I'm going to go over a bunch of funny money and serious money very shortly. And shortly is now. And really, funny money is anything that's not on the right hand side of serious money. So Tron, GoChain, Wave, Skycoin, Neo, Cosmos, Gross, Ripple, DGB, Qtum, Ethereum Classic, stuff like that. Funny money. And serious money, gold, bullion, silver bullion, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, Theta Coin. So I got 4 cryptos in there, as well as the Canadian fiat currency. Now, if I didn't live in Canada, it'd be whatever other country I was in. But really, it's just for a currency, that's obviously, as everyone knows, is what you used to buy things with. So obviously, it's to buy things. And amongst such, the strategy, and this has been the strategy for quite some time, but I'm a long ways away from executing such if the opportunity even does present itself, is selling out of all of these when the time is right into these, which would be selling mostly into Bitcoin since Litecoin, I'm already crossing things back and forth, increasing them that way, and I already own them. And I'd be even, most likely, if these are going up, I'd be selling them for Bitcoin and cash as well, looking, of course, to buy back later if situations come into play. But it also means trading my currencies that's, okay, Tron goes up big. We're talking 30, 40, 100x type of gains. And any of those with those types of large numbers. You sell it all, 100% of it. And then you put into Bitcoin. And I'm crossing Tron against Litecoin, but I'm not selling any of that. And hopefully this does a good job to increase my Litecoin trading doing these ratio trades. And then at that point, if everything goes up like it did before in a dartboard rally, then I'm only going to be left with mainly these coins. And that means I'm going to have to trade things like Litecoin, Theta, Bitcoin Cash, and not even Bitcoin together pretty aggressively at higher stakes because that's pretty much all I'll have until I see a good market correction. And I talk about that, but not much more to say about that. And now, when we look back at what Tron looked like before the last major dartboard rally, which was early to mid December to mid to late January for most coins. And as it was breaking down to start off in November, on the second day, this thing was at like 40 Satoshi, falling even down to 17. And then as we go through each day, this is, and remember, December 11th, this is when the dartboard rally started. Let's see what happens next day. Okay, it goes up to 43. Then it goes up. I mean, what do you do on days like this? Probably a lot. And on days like that, this is spots where maybe hopefully you could be able to flip coins back and forth because of its intraday volatility if you happen to be available. And those are the type of days you really want to be available in day trading when stuff like that is going on. And there we have it again. So now in the situation, as I talk about with the funny monies, okay, well, if this goes from 20 to 200, well, as I stated, well, if this goes 30, 40, 50x, then I'm going to be selling it all. Well, yeah, but I'm not going to sell it all at one time. I'll sell a portion of it in here. Oh, I'll sell some of it for Bitcoin, and that's just that. And then we go through here again. 303. Well, I just sold a bit here. Maybe I want to see it go maybe up to like 4 or 5. Oh, okay, so if I was available, maybe I hit 4 that day, but you can see how just wild these markets are moving. But even its volatility, you can see in here, 427 down to 187. These are the type of intraday moves I want to see these coins have when they have the phenomenal runs. And if free markets are going to be in play, I don't see how they're not. And now you're in a situation here where I go through some hefty selling. And now you could even say in here, I'm going to sell everything at 630 or 800 or 1,000. It's just up too much at this point. And even when you're wrong, you're still pretty much going to be right, but just to less gains in that. Okay, let's just say I sell. If it gets to 1,000, it's over. And the next day, it was 1,000, and you sold everything. Say 984, you sold it at, and now you're looking. Oh my goodness, I sold this at 1355. And it's like January the 4th, New Year. Next day, oh my goodness, even went to 2,000. You sold it all there. But as we already know, this price is like, even when you're wrong, you're right because you're just going to have spots where this thing is just going to end up majorly rolling over as it is anyway. So if you want to get back into the game, because you've already most likely sold it for things like Bitcoin, and even if Litecoin, other ones, most likely what's going to happen is these are going to heavily overperform Litecoin. So in situations like that, when I consider things like the ratio trade, if I'm at a spot like this and these coins are up about 30, 40, 50x, then I'm probably going to have a lot of nice gains in Litecoin from selling. Now with what's left, let's just turn them into Bitcoin, and then that Bitcoin could get turned into precious metals, into fiat currency, and ways of the like thereafter that. And with the funny money, or shit coins, or however you want to refer them to, because I'll give them the name for both of it. The reason I decided to choose Tron, outside of the fact that the cost and fees and how the wallet worked and how fast it is because of, I feel it's one that can work very large on steroids. So as I look at it, I feel that 50x gains can be very conservative. So if this thing had a bottom near about 140, 10 times is 1400. If I take 14 times 3, that's 42. So 4,200 right now would be that of a 30x move. So if this thing ends up making any type of serious new highs above this, well, that's telling me that it's time to have some serious times to sell it out, basically. Same thing with coins like GoChain. If it happens to have phenomenal moves, and these are the type of coins that are more likely to have 80% days, 5x, 7x weeks, and overall for major point A to point B moves, well, 30 to 100, even who knows? Some of them have gotten even 500. It's just sick. Those are so rare and hard, but and the thing about it is, if any of these do 500x gains, I'm not going to see it because 80x gains, I'm out of everything, and I'll just let it go up to 500. Okay, so be it. That's just the way it goes. But as this one goes, I see this is a low of 85. So 10x is 850, and I'll even go 900 just or even 800 because this low is 80. So 800 times that by 3, 2400. So this works out again. If I get a nice break above these highs, probably even 3 or 4. Like what would be a serious break? Like 3, 4, 5,000. So 50x move, 60x maybe play on it. If it gets that high, well, at some point, if it gets too much, you're just gonna be like, yep, gotta do it. Thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day. Bye bye.